Hello, everyone. So today's episode is about discipline. I'll be talking about what is discipline and how you can become more disciplined, so stay tuned. And I hope you will enjoy this episode. This episode is a connection to the previous one, where I was talking about the authentic self. And the authentic self, to recap, is the best version of yourself you can be. And there's not a static state, that's a continuous state of learning, progressing, improving, adapting. It's not static. And to get there, an important part is discipline. Continuously working on yourself. That is discipline for me. Now, discipline is still a little bit of a bullshit. Sorry to say this word, but yeah. Why? Because discipline is just an effect of something. It's trying to describe something going on. You need to have something pulling you in life. You need to have a direction. You need to have a goal. You need to have something. And when you look at that thing and you say, I want to have it. I want to have that so badly. I will give everything I got to the last cell of my body to get there. Then you have discipline. That is discipline. It comes from this drive that you just, for the heck and sake of it, want to go there. Why? In order to get where you want, you need to do a lot of things. You need to stand up every day. You need to do whatever needs to be done, usually every day. There are usually no breaks if you go that direction. Sure, there are sometimes times where stuff comes in, I don't know, bad things happen, but whatever. Like I had eye surgery and I still now sit here and record this video and try to create it. You see? So if you know where you want to go, you just do it. And it's really important in that sense that along the way, most of the time it's going to be boring. It's going to be difficult. It's going to suck. No one is going to support you. No one is going to pat you on your back and say, great work. No, it's not going to be like that. You need to do it all the time, convinced that you can pull this off. Have faith in it. But you need to pour every little bit of your soul into whatever you're doing, whatever direction you pick, doesn't matter. And that requires dedication. And you don't do that if you don't have something in the future or in the distance where you say, I want to be there. And the next time when something bad happens, you just look at where you want to go and you say, I see it. It's coming closer. Even if it's going to take a few more years, I don't care. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. And that's what's pulling you through everything. And you might already recognize this goes a little bit in the direction of religion and faith. Because faith is the one thing which pulls you through life and tells you that God or some almighty power or whatever is guiding me through this. And it's going to work out if I just give the best I can, whatever that means. I mean, we're all going to die in the end anyway. There's nothing, to achieve at the end. But the journey can be pretty good. The journey can be really good. And that is having the faith that you can have the best journey possible, that you can imagine for yourself. That is faith. If you just give it all you have in this life, that you will be given the best life you can have back. And that is also connected with the authentic self, because that means you, over the time, you become more authentic to yourself through the disciplined hard work on yourself. But this faith is discipline almost, I would call it. They are really closely connected. Now, one of the things which really help with discipline or moving forward is make a schedule. Take a sheet of paper, write down whatever you want to do in order to move forward. Why is it important? I mean, you already did the first step. At this point, you should know where to go. If you don't know, figure that out. Okay, that's a different topic. But if you know where to go, you need to write down all little steps you can do to get there. And then you need to execute them. And even if you fail on half of them or whatever, you will have to adapt that all the time anyway. But you have a schedule. And a schedule also means that you have a schedule for the week. That you stand up at the same time. That you eat healthy and good. That you exercise regularly to make sure that your system is working constantly in a positive way. And positive, I mean, it needs to be healthy. If your physical body is healthy, your mental state is also healthy, and both together can work to become better at whatever you need to be doing. You need, of course, to put lots of load on yourself. You need to move forward. It's not going to be free. And for that, you need to be in the best shape you can have. And as I told you, we showed 10 videos before. You're a pattern. And you work as a pattern. And if you give your body a structure, it will start up waking at the same time, even if you don't put on an alarm clock. That's just how you work. So a routine is really crucial for that, all of that. And a really funny part about that is a lot of people, they come to me and say, yeah, but this is not freedom. You know, I would chop down on my freedom. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course it's freedom. You can do any schedule you like. You can change it all the time. You know, you can make a schedule and change it then the next week and change it the next week. You need to do that anyway. But what helps you is that you take a paper which reflects your life. You basically reflect on it. And then you can revise that. You can make revisions of it in such a sense that you see what worked, what didn't work, where could I improve. You see, it's self-reflection. That schedule is just self-reflection, because otherwise you can easily cheat yourself in your head. I do that all the time with myself. I kick that guy's butt in my head all the time because he tries to screw me over constantly. And if I don't do things like these sometimes, to say, okay, this week you're gonna do this, no matter what. And if I find myself procrastinating at some point, I kick my own butt so hard because I'm so mad at this guy, whatever he's doing. And that's the only way that you move forward. You need to find some way to reflect on yourself. You can also have other people, but the thing is, you cannot never rely on people being on top of you all the time anyway. You need to find inner strength. And inner strength means look at what you do yourself all the time. And the easiest way is really to look at what you should do and then, get there. And even if you just did half the stuff you put on the schedule or try to force yourself, even if you did the workout half the time, you did half a workout usually already. And consistency is key. Now, one funny thing I often see when I look at people, what they do is, and also when I talk to them, that they try intensity first over consistency. What does that mean? That means that when they do workouts, for example, they go for intensity 2 or 3 times a week. And then, they are entering a sinkhole afterwards, I would call it, because they over-exercise, obviously. So that is a big problem, because moving forward is hard if you have these strong lows. But at the same time, people try to create these strong highs too, which is also not too great. Okay? So try to keep it as smooth as you can and try to move up with an elegancy, I would call it. And you can do that through focus first on consistency. If consistency works, you're already gonna get there at some point. So just try first to get consistency. And while that thing works, you will get there. Don't worry. And the rest, getting the intensity right afterwards, that is then bonus, I would call it. Okay? So look that you get whatever needs to be done continuously all the time. That you continuously make progress on wherever you want to be, whatever you're gonna do, doesn't matter. But you need to continuously improve. And when that happens, you're on your way already. So don't worry. Now, one of the tricks, I have a lot of tricks, to be honest, to trick myself into consistency more. For example, I have sports exercise all around me when I work. I can just stand up, and whenever I stand up, I'm like, oh yeah, there's something to lift, and then I make a few exercises. I really try to make it like that it grabs my attention the moment I get up, because I see all this equipment around me. I'm directly jumping into it and doing a few exercises which I previously outlined the week before. And it's really cool, because by these tricks, the good things which I should do get easier, but at the same time you need to make the shitty things harder, the really shitty things. For example, I have a roof terrace where most of the time I work, at least now before eye surgery. Now I need to recuperate, but I work up there. And there's a fridge, and I could put drinks in there and water and a water boiler so I can make my tea up there and never go down the stairs. What the hell I'm gonna do that? Everything I have is in the lowest floor, 3 floors down. So every time, whatever I want, I need to go down these stairs. And every time I go them up again, I take 2 steps at a time, always. I made it a habit. I don't even think about it anymore. So you see, I need to exercise. And I need to make these things easier. And laziness is, for example, something I really dislike about myself. And that lazy bugger is inside of me too, as in everyone else. There's no perfect person. If you think like that, that lazy person is telling me all things all the time in my ear as in yours. But I make it hard for him. And I'm trying to stay on top of him. And sure, sometimes it screws me over. But most of the time, I make my life so easy that I don't have to think about doing the right thing and not become lazy. And that is such a great feat. So you need to find these little tricks. You need to observe yourself, what you could do. If you struggle to stand up early in the morning because you put out the alarm clock all the time, put it at the other side of the room. Do it. Put it somewhere else. Maybe outside of your room a little bit. Whatever. Where you annoy other people if it goes off. Yeah, because you need a lot of motivation if you do something like that in the morning. So your motivation is not enough? Yeah. Make it worse. Much, much worse. And then you get all of a sudden a lot of motivation, trust me. Now, I really love playing these games, but you need to also see the things that are also not static. You need to change it all the time. One of the funny things, for example, in the morning to get up, maybe a little trick for you guys too. Body is, of course, covered with a lot of meridians, which usually run along the nerves. And in the morning, you're very inactive or sleepy. At least I myself, my friend isn't. I wonder how he does it, but I am. So one of the really funny things I do is you can rub your body, especially the back, which activates all the nerves. And you can see that, for example, I learned that from animals. When I watch animals doing certain things with their young and they get licked to activate the body. And I thought, that would be pretty interesting to try because you see in martial arts also when you get knocked out, you can wake a person up and if you stimulate the back and the back nerves. So when you do that, you get woken up more. And that's pretty easy trick. So in the morning, you can rub yourself a little bit and then it already helps maybe just enough to get your fucking butt up into the cold shower. That is also a cool thing. And there's one more, what I also like to do, for example, when we are already at the cold shower. If I feel that I'm too lazy in the morning, so for example, I should start with meditation usually, but sometimes I overdo it the day before in terms of work or whatever, and I'm too tired in the morning to get up, that's usually when I go hard. So I skip the easy stuff, because if I come easy when I'm lazy, if I just say, sit down, I'm gonna fall asleep again. It doesn't work. So you need to find, balance the yin yang. You need to go the hard way. So what I do then is I do something really tough early in the morning that my butt is up, like go running right away, go into a cold shower, go into the sea here, which is currently still cold, have some wave diving while it's still dark, which just is always a really creepy experience, especially with high waves. You get it? You need to do something, really something which wakes you up, which is shocking also. And you need to have a repertoire of 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things in the morning. And then, you wake up, it's a hard time, you're gonna fall asleep in a meditation. Okay, maybe first go hard and then sit down for a meditation. And that is how you can create and move forward yourself in a better sense of discipline. You need to learn when you try to screw yourself over and keep it going and focus on consistency. Consistency is already so freaking hard that intensity is not even the major problem. If consistency runs, you're gonna be good already most of the time. Okay? So move forward, figure out what is going on inside of your head. Observe yourself all the time. Write down on a sheet of paper what you are doing, what you were doing, and try to improve on whatever that was and how much time you spent on things. So still one important piece of becoming or being disciplined about where you want to go is be careful with your energy. Be aware of your energy. I know a lot of people, they don't have even half as much energy as I have, and they need to manage it way, way, way more closely than I do. They can't walk half the distance that I do at half the pace I do. I witness it often when I do certain things and I see that they want to do more, they crash down, and then they deal with the repercussions, and then they can't move forward and meet the consistency anymore, and they're done. And then you have to start the routine again, and that's eating a lot of energy. So be really careful about how much energy you currently have, and then try to ramp that up slowly in a way that you can hit that consistency target. On top of that, when it comes to energy management, be careful about everything and everyone around you. Look at your life, look at how much energy you have, how much you pour into different things, and think about whether that is a thing you want to do or not. For example, some things eat a lot of energy, like relationships. But some things also give a lot of energy, like relationships. You see why I'm laughing? You know, certain things can elevate you forward, give you energy, make you a better person, but they can also drag you down. And especially be careful around people, because people can suck a lot of energy out of you. And I say that really now here because imagine you have energy and you want to spend that. And you have a toxic person. And I say toxic in such a sense that it's a drama person, for example. Drama means little things happen in life, which always do anyway. And they make a big thing out of it. And then you have to deal with it. You have to listen to them an hour because they can't deal with the fact that someone said something they just don't like to hear, whether it's true or not. Do you understand? You have these drama people who make a lot of drama all the time, and that eats energy because you need to constantly take care of them. And think about whether you want to have energy for that or not. It's totally fine if you say, I have that person in my family and I want to spend the energy on that because it's a family member. That is entirely okay. But just be entirely certain whether you want to do that. And be sure that whatever you do in that sense, it all eats energy. And you need to manage that well. And sometimes you have a job which also eats a lot of energy, or very little, and you can then move forward better in your private time. Do you see? It's about energy management. Discipline is also energy management. You need to look at what eats how much energy, and if I want in my life to spend energy on that. And be aware that at this point, there come the hard choices. You need to think about, do I want to have maybe sometimes even that person in my life? Or do I just want to move forward? Because otherwise I will never move forward. And I like that picture that you have a pile of dirt and you shovel it all the time. That is what you do when you do self-cultivation. You shovel it all the time away. You give your best to do that. And if you have really, really, really bad people around yourself, they shovel on that pile again. And you will realize you will never get forward in your life with that. You will never get forward. And I had the same problem for a while in my life until I made the hard choices, actually. And I did changes. And ever since then, I can run fast. I can move forward. I'm finally free. I can finally get where I want. But I couldn't do it before. Why? Because I didn't want to leave behind. Because I was afraid to leave certain people behind. Because I was afraid to do what needs to be done, to do the hard choices. And that is why you need to work on that. Why you need to be aware on first how much you want to spend on energy on certain things, and then make the hard choices. And you will not get the really great things in life if you're not willing to make the hard choices out there. Okay? And you can do that. Have faith in yourself. Sometimes you know it's the right thing to do. You don't know how it's going to turn out, but you know that this is the way and the only way for you. It's your way, and you have every right to choose your own way. Trust it. I hope you can find a few pieces in this lesson about how to build up your discipline more. I would also be interested in about what helps you build up discipline. So please write that in the comment section. I would be really curious what little life hacks you develop that you stay on your target and keep doing what needs to be done to get wherever you want. So if you liked this episode, please like and subscribe, and otherwise see you soon.